Hey everyone, in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how to make an advanced home screen for a Five Nights at Freddy's game. Now this is the start of a new series, so I'm going to be showing you guys how to make it a super advanced Five Nights at Freddy's game. This is going to be a top of the line game, so make sure you like and subscribe in order to keep getting notifications for when I upload, so that way you can see and make your own game. So right here we have the menu that we're going to be making today, to where you see the background, it changes when you touch or go over an option, and then you have a little cool options menu with choices right here. And yeah, so I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a menu like this today. So first, I have over here, I have my a script, or not a script, I have a sprite which has nothing, and it just has my animatronics, right? You could make your own animatronics. If you guys ever want a tutorial on how to make cool looking animatronics, let me know and I will teach you all. So over here we have the backgrounds. This is just also just purely a sprite. I only had this so that way I can have my backgrounds ready to show you guys and I don't have to waste time on that. So we have all three. And then right here we have, this is going to be a whole new one. So actually I'll just delete this and we'll make a new one ourselves, right? So we're going to make a sprite. We're going to call this intro credits. Okay, now we're going to make a variable. We're going to call this home screen. That's going to come in handy later. Make sure to check it off so you don't see it. So what we're going to do is we're going to do go to costumes, and we're going to make a couple costumes. First, pick a cool color. I like that color. Pick a cool font, and then you're going to write first made by, and then your username, how to scratch. And then you're gonna you're gonna make a new costume. You're gonna change this text, and you're gonna put if you have a series, you can put a series production. Like if I have a Five Nights at Link's production, because Five Nights at Link's from the other tutorial. And then we have, now this last one is gonna be special. Okay, so this is gonna be warning. And you're gonna want to make a little warning message. So just put you could put, let's see, what can you put? Um, you can put, this game is not meant for everyone. If you continue by pressing space, you admit that, oops, admit that you understand that you shouldn't be playing if you are susceptible to, and then this is going to be the warning, so we're going to put what's going to be in our game, which is jump scares, horror, animatronics, flashing lights, flashing lights, and anything else related to horror and horror elements. Right, there we go. We have our warning message. And then at the bottom, we're going to put in all caps, press space to continue. So that way they acknowledge that, you know, if they get scared, they shouldn't be playing this game. Let's see. Jump scares and flashing lights can be turned on in settings. They are off by default, because I will be showing you guys how to do that. So there we go. We have a warning message. So what we're going to do is we're going to do when green flag is clicked, and then we're going to go to variables, set home screen to yes. Then we're going to get a set, oops, not change. We're going to set ghost effect to 100. And then we're going to set the size to 50. We're going to show the costume, or not the costume, but we're going to show the little guy. And then we're going to change costume to costume 1. We're going to put a wait 2 seconds in there. I'll put wait 1 second just because. Always make sure to save your game. So now we wait 1 second. And then we're going to put a repeating block, repeat 50 times. And then you're going to put change ghost effect by a -2. And then you're going to put change size by 1. And what that's going to do is that's going to give this cool little effect right here. don't forget to center your thing. I forgot to center and that made it look funny. There we go. Now it's going to give a cool little effect like that. Very simple. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to copy this right here, change the time for however long you want it to be. So I want it to be 2 seconds. And then now instead of changing by -2, we're going to change by 2. And by the size, we're going to do -1. And then we're going to put a switch costume right under it to costume 2. And then just duplicate this whole thing. Go here. And then at the bottom, we're going to do switch costume to costume 3. Now this should cycle through the first one, and then it's going to go back. Then it's going to come back forward as the second one. Perfect. Then it's going to go back, and it's going to switch to our warning message. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go right here, change that to a, like, I don't know, 4? No, this is still going to stay 1, put that there, and now this is going to show up. Now we're going to get a cool little handy block. It's going to be over here, wait until, and then put a little operator, and then we're going to put key space pressed, and then at the bottom is where we're going to make it hide again. So we're going to copy this one, and then just put that there. Now, since we have the wait key pressed, when we press space, it's going to go back and it's going to hide. Now, once it finishes hiding, we're going to go in here, and we're going to put hide, and then we're going to put broadcast, new message, home screen. Perfect. Now we have our intro credits done, and it's to the point where you actually now it's to the point where actually you set the game to continue. Now we're gonna make a new sprite, and we're gonna call this home screen background. All right, that's where these backgrounds come into play. So I'm actually just gonna delete this right here. Yes, delete that, and this is gonna turn into home screen background. Home screen background. Great. Now we're gonna go into here, and we're gonna grab when I receive home screen, we're gonna set ghost effect to 100. Switch costume to whichever character you want to be first. I want that guy to show up first, and then you're going to put show. Then you're going to do a repeat 50 times, and then change ghost effect by -2, wherever that is. There we go, ghost by -2. And then we're going to go, when green flag is clicked, hide, and then forever, you're going to go forever block. And now this is a little tricky part, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to get a go to X and Y block, right? Then we're going to go to operators, and we're going to get a division, and we're going to put that in both. Then you're going to go to sensing, and then you're going to get mouse X, and you're going to put that in the one for the X block. And then you're going to get a mouse Y, and you're going to put that in the left side for the mouse one. Then you're going to put -10 for here, and -75. I will zoom in so you guys can see that. There we go. Pause if you need to. And what this is going to do is it's going to give us a really cool little background, all right? Just wait for this to finish. Wait for this to show up. Finish moving, press space, keep it going, and look, now we have a really cool background, okay? Now, actually, I don't like this so far, so I'm gonna just make it a little darker. Yeah, I feel like that'll look better. And there we go. That makes it look a whole lot better. Now that we have this done, we're gonna go to we're gonna go to variables. We're gonna make a new variable, and we're gonna call this home screen character. Now we're gonna grab we're gonna just copy this, and we're gonna remove this block out of it, so we have a when green flag is clicked and forever. And then you're gonna get however many backgrounds you have, you're gonna get an if for each of those. So since I have 3, I have this one, and this one, we're gonna grab 3 ifs, and you're gonna put them on top of each other like that. Then you're gonna get you're gonna put equal operators in all of those, and then home screen character, and you'll just do that. Now you can get the name. You can either put the name of this or the costume member. You can put like Tub, Sneaky, or Link, which I have right here because those are the character names, or you can put 1, 2, or 3. I will do 1, 2, or 3 just because that's more universal. So 1, 2, and 3. And then what we'll do is we'll put switch costume to, uh, we'll put switch costume to home screen character. Oops. Now I will switch the costume, or now I'll practice by switching home screen character to 1, now 2, and now 3, and see, it works. So that is a very simple way to do that. Now we have the background done. What we're going to do is we're going to make our office or our desk. So we're going to go into here, we're going to call this desk, and I might have one. Perfect, I have a desk already. If it will load. There we go. Put that in here. Okay, now we have our desk. So what we'll do is we'll go into the script for the desk, and we're going to grab from here, we're going to grab this one, drag it in, and we're going to drag this over here too. So we have these scripts within our desk. So we're going to change, I'm actually going to change the name to home screen desk because we're also going to have a desk in the office. So home screen desk. We're going to change ghost effect, set ghost effect to 100, and then show, and then we'd like to do repeating. We're going to do this, and we're going to change these numbers to -5 and -85. And what that's going to do is it's going to give a little cool effect. We forgot to show this, and there we go. I would actually like to move this down, so I'm going to grab the whole thing and just drag it a little bit down. I'm going to drag the whole thing down so you can actually see the characters a little too far down. So I do that. A lot better. Perfect. So now that we have our desk done, uh, we have essentially finished the home screen. All that we need left is the buttons and the name. So we're going to go right here, paint, and we're going to call this title. And it's going to be essentially the same thing. We're just going to be copying the font from here, or the color, I mean, and then you're going to put your title. I'm going to call this Tubbs Arcade Origins, because that's the name of the game I'm making. Put that in the corner. We're going to make this pretty big. Perfect. Center that. Now we have the name of the game. Actually going to make this a little larger just because, you know, it is the name of the game. And we're going to go into code. What we're going to do is we're just going to literally grab this and grab this. And we're going to remove this forever block. And that is going to make it to where this will show up all cool. Now, to get the buttons working, you're going to make a new sprite, and we're going to call this continue. And we're just going to write that down, continue. Now, what you're going to want to do is, since this is text only, you are going to want to add a background color. Do this effect and put the outside set to 0 and just make it as big as your game and send it to the back. That's going to make it easier for you to click. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to slightly off center this. So we're going to put this to 0, 0, and you see where it's at right here? We're actually going to move this down to where it fits perfectly on our computer screen. So it fits great right there. So now we're going to go over here, grab this code, put that in here, grab this code, put that in here, and we're going to activate both of them. And you see how our continue button is actually kind of off. So we're just going to drag that on the actual on the actual costume to where we want it to be. Perfect. And we want it there. Actually, I'm going to put a little lower because I want new game to be on top. Just like that. Duplicate that, and we're going to call this one new game. We're going to rename it new game. And then we are gonna turn this on so we know where it's at. And since new game is gonna be at the top, we'll move it up. Perfect. Now we will duplicate this again. We'll call this one options. Rename it to options. Center it. Once again, come over here, continue that, and move it down. And I think that's good right there. Now, we are going to duplicate this once more, and we're going to call this one custom night. Turn this thing on again so we know where to go, and custom night. I would like to center that, so I'm going to center it, and then zoom out. That thing is on, so we know where to go, and perfect. Now, we're going to go to options, and we're going to make another costume. So we're going to call this one clothes. And we are going to put right here, switch costume to costume 1. And then we're going to do when this sprite is clicked, then we're going to get an if else. We're going to make a new variable, and we're going to call this one options open like that. In the beginning, we're going to set it to false. Set options open to false, and you're going to just put that in whenever green flag is clicked, and then you're going to get an if, and then put options open equals to false. Then we're going to put switch costume to costume 2, which means it is open, which means we're going to want clothes to show up, else we're going to switch costume to costume 1. Now, we're going to put a broadcast in both of these. This bottom one, or this top one, is going to be broadcast open options, and this bottom one is going to be close options. Just like that. No, we're going to go to custom night, right? We're going to put when I receive close options, looks show, duplicate. When I receive open options, looks hide. So that way, if options opens equals to false. Oh, right. I forgot to change the options variable. So actually, this is obsolete. We can delete this, right? And what we're going to do actually is we're going to go here and we're going to put in looks, there should be, there we go, costume number. And if costume number equals to 1, because 1 is options, 2 is close. So now options, there we go, open, close. And what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate custom night, go in here, and we're going to change this. We're going to change this to be jump scares on. Make sure to activate it so you can see properly where it's going. And we're actually going to switch these. So when I receive close options, hide. When I receive open options, show. There we go. We're going to go to costumes and make sure to center this. Just like so. And I'll go a little more left. And we're actually going to make 2 costumes, one with jump scares on and one with jump scares off, just like that. Now we're going to call this one jump scares option, and we're going to duplicate this, and we're going to call this one music options. Rename it to music. And then paste that in, change this to be on, and then we are going to activate it just to see where it's at. It's actually kind of a waste. There we go. Duplicate this and change it to be off. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go into options menu right here. And then we're going to basically duplicate this and we're going to drop it into jump scares, right? Where did it go? Okay, we're going to dump that into jump scares. And so we are going to change, instead of broadcasting anything, what we're going to do is we're going to make a variable. We're going to call this for music, or we're going to call this one jump scares on/off. And in the beginning, we'll set jump scares on/off to off. And then right here, we'll set it to on. No, to off because it's initially off in the beginning. To on. And since it's off in the beginning and off is costume 2, we're going to switch costume to costume 2 actually in the beginning. And then we're going to we're going to grab this, we're going to drag this into music option, go over here. Remember to switch costume to costume 2 when green flag is clicked. And then we're going to make a new variable. We're going to call this music on/off. We're going to replace jump scares on/off with music on/off. And what this is going to do is this is going to give us a fully functional and fully completed home screen. And then make sure to tune in for the next video. Unfortunately, I forgot to remove this. I forgot to remove this from the other two. So in music options and jump scare options, you're gonna hide, and I forgot to remove this. Oops, not that. I forgot to remove the home screen. But once you get rid of that, there we go. I don't know what the issue there was. Huh. Okay guys, so it appears that we have an issue right here. I have no clue what this issue could be from. I will keep trying to figure it out what this issue is. But basically, the options button does not want to move with the screen, even though every single other one does. And I will not upload, I will address it in the next video. But however, we are not finished, actually. I thought we were, but we are not. So we're gonna set home screen. We're gonna get a block that says set home screen character. We're gonna set it to 1, and we're gonna put that right up here. And what we're gonna do is when green flag is clicked, forever, if then we're gonna get a touching mouse pointer, and then we're gonna set home screen character to whichever one you want this option to be. So I'm gonna set this one to 3. I'm gonna drag it to new game. I'm gonna set new game to 2. And I'm gonna drag this one to continue, and I'll set this one to, actually I'll set this one to 2, and I'll set new game to 1. And then I will drag this to custom night, and I will set custom night to 3. Now we're gonna restart the game, and I don't know what is going on with options. Okay, I will figure that out. However, I know that music off and jump scare off do in fact work. So we are gonna actually see how the background is moving. That is perfect. That's exactly what we want. And this will actually signify the end of this tutorial. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to like and subscribe and stay in touch for the next video to come out. Okay? Thank you all for watching as far as you did, and goodbye.